Well, hello. Welcome to the channel. I'm Jayanator, your host for reading Reddit stories. If you enjoy this type of content, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to click that notification bell. Now relax, grab some snacks, as I read some Reddit stories that I wish didn't feel real. Alright, this story comes from 2 Hot Takes. Am I the a-hole for laughing in my boyfriend's face after he told me his biggest secret? Am I the a-hole for laughing in my boyfriend's face after he told me his biggest secret? Longtime lurker, first time poster, and longtime listener of 2 Hot Takes. This happened a few years ago to me, and it's stuck with me ever since. My 21 female, 19 at the time, ex-boyfriend, 20 male, 18 at the time, told me his biggest secret, and I laughed in his face. My ex, let's call him Brian, and I dated 2 years on and off. It was always a weird situation. We didn't get along, honestly, but that was my fault for not leaving sooner. I guess he was just hot. Anyways, he one day told me that he had something he needed to talk to me about. I thought he was going to break up with me, but major plot twist. I went over to his house, sat down, and he asked me, "Oh no. Oh no. Would you be willing to fart on me?" I cackled and said, "What?" He then continued to say, "I'm not joking. This is actually really important to me. I'm into girls farting like big gurgly." Hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay. I'm into girls farting like big, gurgly, super smelly farts. And I can't get off on just corn of it anymore. I like to have it in real life. I wasn't even laughing at this point. I was so confused and I couldn't believe this was real and that this was my life. I asked, "How'd you get a fart fetish?" And he went on to explain how when he was a kid, his female cousins would always jokingly fart on him or near him, and he grew to love the sound and smell of it. I think I was visibly so confused at this point because he just kept talking and trying to explain himself. I told him to stop and that I'd think about it, but that this was really weird for me to hear. He explained that he didn't like that I laughed at him, but like, what do you expect to happen when you tell a girl you have a fart fetish? And especially when it started because of your cousins. This conversation has never left my mind, and I genuinely can't get over it, and it's been 2 years at this point. No, I never farted on him, and yes, I broke up with him a week later. So, Reddit, am I the a-hole for laughing in my boyfriend's face when he told me his biggest secret? Nope, you are not. Bro, first of all, gentlemen, don't watch corn. Take it from me, don't watch corn. It will damage your mind. It will mess up your mind. It is not good. Okay? I'm gonna say that first. Second of all, if you are into something like this, or just something really weird, do not, and I mean, unless you know you are going to marry this girl and want to have a genuine conversation about this, do not ever tell a girl you are into something. Because 1, that's weird. 2, again, you don't know if you're going to marry her. That's a different story. And 3, she will laugh at you, okay? That's coming from a man. That's, quote unquote man, I'm 23, but that's coming from me, a guy. Like, come on, dude. Like, you can't. You have to be expecting that they will laugh. You have to. Because it's just, like, that's like the weird stuff. Like, that's not normal in, like, the most of the views of the world. No, she's not the a-hole. That is a valid reaction. That's funny. I even laughed. That's funny. Let's just read some comments. First comment: I don't think you were honestly laughing in his face to be cruel. I think you were just surprised and thought he was kidding. I'm sure he expected that to happen, but it was probably also hard for him to share that with you in the first place. Oh, of course. But again, you should not be sharing that. Do not, that one thing I had to learn, keep your thoughts to yourself. Please, just keep your thoughts to yourself. Unless you're really comfortable with this person, you know how they're going to react. Please, especially as a young man, just keep thoughts to yourself. Trust me. Alright, there's not many comments here, so, yeah, funny story. I needed one like this. Let's get to the next story. Warning for if anyone is underage and is going to listen to the story, just little warning. This will not be appropriate. This story is a short one. It comes from r/what do I do. Wrong number thinks I'm a sex slave. I, 39 male, first got a voicemail about 3 years ago from this kind sounding old man calling me truck toy and saying all the things he wanted to do when he gets his hands on me. I got a laugh out of it. Then he left another message a couple weeks later. Again, a laugh. Fast forward to the other day, he calls again, leaves another voicemail. At this point, I just feel bad. I'm not shaming this dude, I just genuinely feel bad that he's trying to reach out to his sex slave of his and thinks he's ghosting him. I want this old man to be able to get as freaky as he wants with whoever he's trying to reach. My wife thinks I should text him and say he has the wrong number, but I can't help but feel like I'm in too deep, and to tell him now would be embarrassing. TLDR, old man has the wrong number, thinks I'm his sex slave, I feel bad. Wife thinks I should tell him, but I think it's been too long and would embarrass the guy. And he says that thumbs up in the most recent message is him reacting to his own message. I haven't given any responses to anything. Bro, okay, let's put these to see these messages. First pick, we will talk tomorrow, hot slave fair. Oh no. Good hot bondage afternoon, truck toy. Damn, I want to working for, oh my god, torture. What? Okay, this second picture, I don't truck all, what? I don't know. I don't blank all this. The master calling, see what's up. What? How you doing? And just talk with you for a minute. We'll try you back. We'll try you back later. And hopefully we can connect then. Bye. Okay, third picture. Oh, for twice your master calling. Call and talk to your sorry blank ass. And just, did he regret what he said? Communicate back and forth. We'll try you back later, or you can give me a call. Definitely looking forward to the point where I can get you and keep you and totally mold you the way I want. Blank all. Talk soon. Bye. That is kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're just gonna get to the comments on this because I have nothing to say. Alright. Okay, first comment, 2 choices. A, block him. B, truck with him. And then someone says, option C, become his sex slave. And then the guy responds, I like your style. Option D, make him your sex slave. Someone said, just tell him sorry, bud. Wrong number. Then block him. Move on. But that's not fun. Oh, I love this comment. Dad, I told you never to contact me on this number. Yo, this comment, pick up, play along, and charge him $69 a minute. The OP says, Chuck, yes. And then another comment, well, at this point, you have no choice than to be his slave. You're a good guy for not wanting to embarrass him, so have your wife tie you up and put a bag on your head and send picture to him saying, reporting for duty, master. Please update us. OP says this might actually be the most realistic response. Alright, yeah, just a quick short one. All the comments are just funny quips. Let's get to the next story. This comes from Am I the A-hole subreddit. Am I the a-hole for basically telling my boyfriend if he wanted kids, he'd better carry them himself or find someone else who will? I, 19 female, have been with my boyfriend, 18 male, for a year now. And ever since we've gotten together, we've had the occasional conversation of what we want in life in the future. Every time we talk about future plans, he mentions wanting kids, more specifically 2 or 3 of them. I, however, always maintain that I don't want children. I never have, and I probably never will. A little background, I've never liked kids in general personally. They're usually messy, sticky, and a bit annoying. And if I don't have to deal with them, I'm not going to. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate kids or anything, and I'll never purposely be mean to a kid just because I don't like them. I even have a niece and 2 nephews that I love with my whole heart, but just like with any of the kids I've been around in life, I can only deal with their high energy for a few hours before I start getting annoyed and a bit pissy, as I very much love my personal space and kids have no clue what that is. On the other hand, boyfriend really enjoys kids and loves playing with them as he finds them to be easy company. He's a bit childish at heart, obvi, but not in a bad way, and enjoys showing them cool ways to play with their toys. He's genuinely very sweet, and I love him, and we don't have many issues besides the kid issue. I feel like it really should be up to me in the end, as I'll be the one to sacrifice my body, free time, mental health, freedom, personal space, etc. While I do understand he'd be sacrificing a lot as well, it doesn't feel equal, and I'm not willing to give up my entire life as it is, and how I like it, for sleepless nights with an alien parasite it didn't really want in the first place. I've explained this to him almost every time, and he usually says that if anything, I wouldn't have to do anything, and after I give birth, I could return to normal life, almost like a surrogate, while he takes care of the baby, and I essentially stay as a very present ghost to the kid. I get pretty upset when he mentions this kind of situation, as I know what it feels like to know you weren't wanted by one or both parents, since my mom had abandoned me as a kid, and dad became an alcoholic who was present but neglectful emotionally, physically, and mentally. I would hate myself if I made my own child feel like that. Whether I wanted it or not, I don't think the kid should suffer because I'm too emotionally selfish and immature to be an actual parent. I understand that I am far too selfish with my time and attention to be able to properly care for another human being, and it's a big reason I don't want kids, as I don't really want to change my ways either. I'm selfless enough to not be a bad person, at least as far as I know, towards my friends and current family, but I know I can and will only stretch my time and attention so far before I get stressed and feel trapped and overly controlled. And I know I will try to get out of it any way I can, and that honestly could end with me abandoning the child I also would hate myself for. So to avoid hating myself for the rest of my life, I've decided to not have children probably ever unless I change. I've explained to him in every way I can that I really don't want kids, and I probably never will, but he keeps pushing it. So last week, while he was spending the night at my house, the future plan talk came up again, and he started talking about kids again. So I jokingly told him, well, if you want kids, you better push them out yourself or find another chick who wants them. He got kinda quiet, so after a bit I asked him what was wrong. He said it kinda bothers him how much I absolutely refuse to have kids or even really talk about it. And I explained to him that I've told him any reason why I don't want kids and everything around it, and I wasn't sure what else I was supposed to tell him about it, as there was nothing more than a bit of light trauma and just not being mature enough to handle it. He told me that it sounds like I just don't want to have kids with him because I was so quick to tell him to find someone else, since he wants kids and I don't. I explained that I didn't mean it like that, and it was a joke. But honestly, if kids really was that big of a deal to him that he'd rather let his kids have an emotionally absent mother than not have kids at all, then maybe it was better if he was with someone who wanted the same thing as him for the future. After that, we argued for a bit longer, but eventually decided to just drop it. But I can't stop thinking about how weird it felt that he thought I just don't want kids with him, when both I and some of my friends who he talks to have made it very clear that I've pretty much never wanted kids or liked the idea of being pregnant. But I honestly don't know what to do, since when I talk to my family, they tell me I'm a little bit of an a-hole for saying that to boyfriend, and that it's kinda stupid to say I won't ever want kids so young, since I'll probably change my mind in a few years. Once everyone around me begins having kids, people around me have been having kids since freshman year of high school. Trust, I still don't want one. But my friends tell me I'm completely valid and more mature than I'm admitting, since I've made the decision to not have kids due to the circumstances, and that boyfriend should just back off. Am I the a-hole? Woo, what a doozy. This is something I've always thought when I hear stories of this, or I just see stories of this. For me, I do want kids, and my girlfriend, she also says she wants kids. But if I was in the early days of us dating, if she said she didn't want kids, I mean, come on. It's you may want to still work with this person, but if they're dead set on the idea of not having kids, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. I respect this person for saying they don't hate kids, although they did make a little comment that bugged me the wrong way, but nah, I'll let it slide. Yeah, they don't hate kids, they just don't want them, and I'm like, okay, I respect that. You don't want to deal with that, but this guy, he does need to understand that she is just set on no kids, nothing, never gonna happen. And I don't like jumping to this conclusion, but I would say stop being with this person. for both parties. I do not see a world where you will change your mind if you're this dead set on it. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. Maybe your mom is right. Maybe one day you will want to have kids and you'll be like, "Oh, I regret it." But you don't know if that's going to happen. It's very complicated cuz this is more like the most I could say if this ever happens to you, like whoever watches this, look for someone who has the same ideals as you in terms of this, like relationship stuff. If you don't want kids, do not be with the person that says that they do want kids. It's hard. I think it's hard because a lot of people do want kids. Well, I don't know, but that's my take. That's what I could say. The moment I would hear, "Hey, I don't want kids," I'd be like, "Okay, I'm sorry, I can't date you, because I want a future with someone who wants to have a family with me, and I can't have it." Let's look at some comments. First comment right at the top, not the a-hole, but please just break up. You don't want the same things. It would never work out. Yes, yes, yes. Literally, literally, just break up. And she said that this conversation has happened before multiple times, right? Even if it happens once is all you need, dude. Like, come on. Here's another comment I responded to that one. Frankly, I didn't even read the whole thing. Why are you even bothering for a year with someone who wants widely different things? I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, OP, because you are so very young, but you need to grow up a little. When this blows up in your face, and it will, you will have no one to blame but yourself. Do not get into a serious relationship with people who have wildly different wants and needs than you. Take this as a life lesson and move on. Don't waste more time and then come back crying he left you for someone who wants the same thing. Okay, a little harsh. But yeah, oh my goodness, I didn't even take into account her age. She's 19. No. You're very young, And one thing I wish, I haven't gone through this situation at all, thankfully. But one thing I learned from my last relationship is that if it seems like things are not going well within a year, or you feel like, this relationship doesn't feel right, or it just it just feels wrong, then there is really nothing. This sounds bad, but this is at least what I went through. There really is nothing wrong with just saying, "Hey, I don't feel happy in this relationship," or I just feel like I'm not, or I don't feel like being in a relationship at the moment for any reason. And having completely different ideals here, just easily, like, leave. I know it's hard. It's such a hard thing to just tell someone to leave, but then they can't. But really, if you just push yourself to do it, it will benefit you in the long run. Yeah, everyone here, I'm looking at the other comments, everyone else here saying break up, not the a-hole. Hearing these stories always make me a little sad. What could you do? Next story. This story comes from r/2 hot takes. It's titled, "I love my boyfriend, but our sex life is making me miserable." Hi everyone. I could really use some advice. My boyfriend, 20 male, and I, 19 female, have had a complicated relationship. We first got together last summer, but broke up in August 2025 due to trust issues. After Christmas, we started talking again and eventually got back together. One of our biggest issues is our sex life. He has a much higher sex drive than I do. I try to keep up, but I usually fall short because I don't crave sex as much. I do find him attractive and I can enjoy sex, but I never really feel much beyond basic physical pleasure. I've never orgasmed with him, which makes sex feel more like an inconvenience than something I look forward to. Another issue is that most of the time, sex feels very awkward. There's no real connection. It's usually just sex. There's no dirty talk, no sweet moments, just silence. He's the only person I've ever been with, and I lost my virginity to him, while he's had multiple partners before me. Because of that, I don't understand why it feels so awkward between us most of the time. On top of that, we don't usually use protection, and I really don't like that. It causes me a lot of anxiety because I'm terrified of getting pregnant. I used to be on birth control but stopped for a while to regulate my periods. I've told him multiple times that I want to use protection more, but we can never agree. He says it feels better without it. Okay, I'm gonna just say it. I'm pitching in. Girl, leave him. Okay. That bugged me a lot. Let's just continue. He's also told me that I don't give him enough attention. Okay. To be fair, I understand why he feels that way. We're both full-time college students with demanding majors, and we both work part-time jobs. Our schedules rarely line up, and we hardly see each other during the week. I still live with my parents, and he lives in a dorm. When I try to spend time together, I suggest things like going out, taking walks, or doing something casual, but he usually turns it into something sexual, which honestly frustrates me. It also doesn't help that we can only have sex in his car, which is uncomfortable and makes it even harder for me to be in the mood. What confuses me is that I do feel like a sexual person, just not with him. I masturbate and have a sex drive, but when he initiates, I suddenly lose interest. I often feel guilty saying no, and I know it affects him. I've tried to fix things by initiating more, and it worked for a while. But eventually, I started feeling frustrated because he would finish and I wouldn't. It makes me question the point of having sex when I feel like I'm not getting anything out of it. At this point, I don't know what to do. Part of me feels like we might not be compatible and that we may need to break up. But I really don't want that. I even suggested getting an apartment together to improve things, but he says that's too grown, which confuses me. I just feel stuck and don't know what the right move is. Any advice would really help. Girl, how many times do I have to say this word? Okay, I'm not gonna. Okay, first, girl, leave him. He's an incel. He is. He's an incel. He's a womanizer. He's sexist. Clearly, I don't use these words lightly. That went in the direction I did not want it to go at all. That made me angry. Yeah, that's like giving me that pit in my stomach. And it is so easy for me. I said this in another story that I don't know if it's out yet, but it's extremely easy for us, and I'm sure many people in these comments, to be like, girl, leave him. He only wants you for sex. He only wants you for his pleasure. He doesn't care for your pleasure. I mean, the fact he said getting no to an apartment is too adult, he said? Too grown. What? And the fact he only wants it in his car, that's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. And I'm gonna just say, even she says right here, to be fair, I understand why he feels that way. We're both full-time college students. That does not excuse his reactions. It's sad because this happens so much. She sounds nice. She sounds, willing to do stuff to accommodate, yet she doesn't see that the reason she feels this way, because she's not compatible with him, is because of the way he's treating her. And he has the audacity to say he doesn't get enough attention. Boy, are you giving her attention? Oh my goodness. Oh, and the fact he says no to not being protected during. Oh hell, that was the part where I'm like, oh no. Ooh, that made me feel type of way. Ooh, to punch this man. Okay, let's read the comments. First comment, girl, WTF are you doing? You are risking pregnancy with constant unfulfilling sex with a selfish guy who can't be bothered to help you orgasm? Just why? Whoa, hold on. The comment right below this. I just read the old post she had and I'm horrified. The second date they had, he went down on her. They were dating for 2 weeks. The same week they started dating, he already took her for... Oh my... Even though she didn't feel ready... Oh, no, it gets worse. No, it gets worse. No. Oh, I don't want to read that. But I have to. Okay. She did it because she loved him. That's not love. That's 2 weeks. Girl, you can't love someone in a week. Yeah, that I agree. Then a few days he took her on a date and asked him again for intimacy. And she didn't want to have it, and they didn't. But the next 2 days they had it 4 times. Then she didn't get her period and was scared and didn't want to have sex until she got it, of course. He got whiny and yeah, this guy's an incel. And they're 1 year apart, huh? That has some sort of like power dynamic. It's not much, but it's still enough to be like, oh, I'm older. I'm 20. You're still technically a teenager because you're 19. Oh, all right, let's read a comment here. It's giving some good advice. Hi, friend. I have been in that boat. Eventually, I decided to end it. No one deserves to feel like they have to have sex. I found someone after that makes me want to have sex so much more. Unfortunately, it could be a compatibility thing. Also, if it makes you anxious, now use protection and he still wants to. He is not your person. At the end of the day, you're the only one who truly advocate for yourself, and you need to do that. Protect your peace. Yes, 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 yes. I disagree. I very much disagree with the compatibility thing. It could happen. Don't get me wrong, that could happen. But there's cases like this where it's not compatibility. It's the fact of how he treats her. At least that's what I think. I obviously could be wrong. It's just he's trying to control her for his desires and not what she wants. This comment says, OP, this boy does not care about you. You need him to respect your health and your wishes to not get pregnant. He prioritizes his pleasure over that. Yep. A very great risk to you, I might add. You want him to consider your own pleasure during sex, but he's only interested in his own. He pressures you to have sex when you don't want to, which is coercive and manipulative. When you try to spend time with him, he makes it about himself sexually. I forgot to talk about that. Yes, I forgot. And guilt trips you for not giving more to him. Yup. What does he do for you? How does he make you feel like you matter? I'm sorry to be crude, but from what you've described, it sounds like he's using you as a fleshlight. You're not getting any enjoyment and you're having sex reluctantly. He's essentially masturbating with you. If you like advice, leave him. This relationship is truly toxic. I know Reddit can be overly quick to suggest breaking up, but it's called for. He's not going to prioritize you or care about you more than he does himself. It's up to you to love yourself and respect yourself enough to walk away from a relationship that takes way more from you than it gives. Yeah, rest of the comments are just leave him and just giving advice, and I agree all the way. Damn, sad man. This was posted 9 days ago. I hope, as of reading this, I hope she left. Yeah, let's go to the next story. This next story comes from True Off My Chest. I know I'm a piece of poop, and I need to hear it for someone else. I'm gonna give a little trigger warning here. I hate using this word, but there's talks of unaliving and self-harm. Right now, I'm dating two. Oh, okay. Let me just I'm so sorry. I had a reaction when I read that. I'm sorry. Right now, I'm dating two girls at the same time. How did it get to this point? The story starts with the third girl, my ex-girlfriend, Maya. She was always extremely jealous, and, this is important, I wasn't against it. I was ready to stop talking to anyone and do anything for her, except for one thing. She started forbidding me from talking to my closest female friend. There was zero romance between us. We were just very similar, understood each other perfectly, and helped each other through similar traumas and problems. We could talk about it for hours, but despite everything, I listened to my girlfriend and blocked my best friend. After a while, my girlfriend and I broke up, and I was left completely alone. I had no one left, not even someone to send reels to, because I had stopped talking to everyone. But eventually, a mutual acquaintance of my close friend messaged me. She said my friend was waiting for a message from me. I was happy, wrote to her, and apologized for everything. We seemed to resolve it. We talked for about a month, and somehow it very quickly grew into romance. I truly liked her, Elena. But of course, over time, flaws began to show. Out of respect, I won't mention the ones that aren't necessary. I started getting tired of the relationship. I still had feelings. I truly loved her deeply, but I couldn't bear it anymore. I suggested breaking up several times, but she wouldn't agree. Since I had already abandoned her once before, I didn't want to do it a second time, so I waited for her consent. Then something happened. She attempted to unalive herself. I tried to talk her out of it as much as I could. I cried and begged her not to do it. She didn't listen. In the end, it was okay. I called the ambulance, but after that day, something inside me changed permanently. I no longer wanted to be with her. Maybe it's egoism, maybe I'm just exhausted, or maybe I just didn't want to experience that ever again. I don't know the answer. I started distancing myself, And then another girl messaged me, Chloe. We had talked even before I met Elena. Back when I was with Maya, Chloe always showed interest and actively hit on me. I told her I wasn't interested, but for some reason, I kept talking to her anyway. Maybe I just liked the attention. When Elena and I started dating, Chloe and I stopped talking. She messaged me on the very night Elena tried to unalive herself. I really needed to vent to someone, and that was it. We started getting closer while I grew more distant from Elena. I promised myself, as soon as Elena gets better, she had been brutally assaulted and was homeless at the time. We will break up. Guess what? I couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to throw her away again. I suggested breaking up, but I knew perfectly well she wouldn't agree. But I started dating Chloe too. Chloe knows about Elena and thinks I already broke up with her. Elena has no idea Chloe exists. Now, it's starting to feel like I don't know how to love and that I've never loved anyone, not even Chloe, because my feelings are fading for her too. And with Elena, I've been forcing myself for a long time. I don't know what to do anymore. I can't confess to them. I'm too much of a coward. To give you an idea, I actually thought through every decision, reflected for a long time, wrote down my thoughts, and tried to weigh every action so as not to do anything purely on emotion. You can see the result for yourself. I could have sent this message to them and asked them to say everything to my face, but I'm afraid it would look like an attempt to make them pity me. So I'm turning to you. Say whatever comes to your mind. I'll be glad to read everything from hate to advice for or your own stories. Break up with them. Come on, man. I don't know how old you are. I'm going to assume you are a teenager. But there's pieces of this that sounds like you're in your 20s. I don't like... actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say it. You gotta man up and tell the truth. I don't care if that's going to make people angry. Because it's true. You have to learn... And I'm assuming this is a man. You have to learn to... This will be a moment in your life where you learn and reflect about the actions that you had done. You say you looked at the options and reflected. I'm sorry, you didn't. In my opinion, you did not. If you did, you would be like, you know what, Elena, I'm sorry, I'm done. Like, I can't be with you. Like just leave her and then go to Chloe. And if the same thing happened with Chloe, be like, look, I thought I loved you, but I was wrong. You need to take these moments and learn to take them to heart and really look at yourself and be like, who am I? Because this is not the person you want to be. Trust me. And you know what? I get it. That probably maybe shocked you, but I get it. I was like that with my ex for a long time. I couldn't break up with her. I did really want to, and there was a point where I was like, yeah, we're done, and I was left on my own. But then in my situation, I was sort of manipulated to get back with her because of my emotional state. But I do get it. I understand. But what I still don't understand is that you stayed with this person and you were actively cheating, and you didn't want to say, no, I'm done. I'm sorry, this is really harsh, but you need to man up, my good sir. Cannot be like that forever. Does it suck? Oh yeah. I also do not like confrontation much. But let me tell you something. If the confrontation is needed and needs to happen, you have to do it. You have to. You cannot let it stand. Look what happened. You're stuck with two people that this person, the first one, you don't love her anymore. Second one, you're starting to fall out of love with her. Really, dude? Come on, man. You're better than this. You're way better than this. You know it too. In your heart, you know you're way better than this. Let's read some comments. See what people are saying. First comment. It's not too late to do the right thing and make the hard decision. Not just suggest it. I agree. Another comment here. Your vice, at least in this story, is not cruelty or lack of empathy. That much is evident from how you stood with Elena after all of that. No, your vice is, as you said it, cowardice. or rather spinelessness. You feared the image of abandoning Elena a second time, so much that you allowed yourself to get trapped in this kind of relationship with her. And then your aversion of pushing Chloe away without it being her fault, not necessarily fear. You did mention a possibility of your liking your ego being stroked by means of getting attention from someone else. Get you into that position that is objectively worse than the counterfactual scenario where you had just said no both times. Very much agree. That's why I'm like, you have to man up, but I also understand where he's coming from with, at least with Elena. I very much understand. I'm very understanding. It is very hard when you've been with someone who they put all their emotions and all the weight of their life onto you. It kind of makes you feel like a really bad person for saying, I don't want to be with you anymore. It's so difficult. It's extremely difficult. This last comment here. Honestly, this is messy and kind of unfair to both girls. You're clearly stressed and overthinking, but hiding things from them while dating both is a huge red flag. Doesn't make you a piece of poop, just means you need to be honest with yourself before any more gets hurt. Take a step back, figure out what you really want, and don't drag anyone along for your own confusion. I agree. Now, there is an update. OP comment says here, I did it. I've never felt worse in my life. I broke up with both of them. I'm completely alone now. My plan is to go ghost, work on myself for the next year, and stay away from relationships entirely. What advice can you give on how to make this year productive and, honestly, how to get through the aftermath of this? I'm not afraid of being alone, but I know it's going to be incredibly difficult. My advice for you, sir, if you happen to stumble across this video, your plan of taking time to yourself, perfect, awesome. I did that too, and I really needed it. I was going through school at the time, so aside from being home and being in the library, I didn't really have much time to myself. Let me tell you something. Just do things you love. You know, if you have hobbies, do those. Go outside for walks. And genuinely, if you really, really can, spend time by yourself. Just spend time by yourself. You know, put music on, watch a show, watch YouTube. Just do things that you enjoy. That's what helped me during my time when I was like, I need to fix myself before it's too late. Again, if you're hearing this, God bless you. May the Lord be with you. I genuinely hope good things come to you. It always gets better. Trust me. It will get better. You just need time to reflect. You need time to relax and calm your mind. It'll work. All right, that was the last story. I hope you enjoyed your snacks and feel somewhat relaxed after this video. Again, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And with that, I'll leave you on your way. Have a good day.